Okay, we've got an inclined plane question out of exercise 14G, question 4. It's a word question, so you need to get the diagram right. We've got a mass of 10 kilos and it's sitting on an inclined plane that is 30 degrees to the horizontal. There is a force of 10 newtons acting up the plane, which is against motion. We are asked to find the acceleration and R, the reaction force. So on here, I've got my 10 newtons going up the plane. I have my reaction, or my normal, which is perpendicular to my plane. And then I have the weight, 10G, which is hanging straight down. Now, in a question like this, to make life easier, I'm going to talk about my I direction being up the plane or parallel to the plane. My J direction will be perpendicular to the plane. Now, we can start horizontally or we can go vertically. No, not horizontally, but in the I direction or the J direction. Okay, so I direction, J direction. Let's do J direction. I always like starting with J direction. In the J direction, we've got R. And then we also have 10G. Now, it's always sine when we're in the J direction. What is the angle down here? Now, the angle is going to be 120 because this is 30 to the horizontal. So if we dotted that in, that's 30 and 90. So that's sine negative 120. Now, some of the ones you'll see in the textbook, they'll switch it around and call it cos 60 or etc. I always like to just go whatever my angle is to my I direction. For my J's, I do sine. For my I's, I do cos, and it'll always work for me. The angles work out. I don't need to take away because that'll always work out. So in the J direction, there's no movement. The mass is staying on the plane. So I know that R plus 10G sine negative 120 is equal to 0. So R is equal to negative 10G sine negative 120. Now negative 120, we're a good old cast. Sorry, you can do it on your calculator if it's tech active, obviously, but negative 120 is that way. It makes a 60 there. We know 60 is 1, 2, root 3. 60 sine is root 3 on 2. And it's in the negative. So it's going to be negative 10G by negative root 3 on 2. Everybody happy with that? Sine opposite. Yep. So that's going to be 10 root 3 G, on 2, or really 5 root 3 G newtons. Go to my trusty calculator. What is that going to be approximately? That'll be 5 times shift square root 3 times 9.8, 49.3, sorry, 49 root 3, which is approximately 84.87 newtons. So R is approximately 84.87 newtons. Let's come over in the I direction. In the I direction, we have the 10 newtons acting in the positive direction up the plane. And then we have 10G cos negative 120. And this is my force. So force is MA, 10 plus 10G. Now cos negative 120. So it will be negative also, but cos is a half. So times negative a half. Our mass is 10. So divide through by 10, acceleration is 1, take, or plus negative, a half G. So what is that going to be approximately? Let me grab my calculator. 1 plus negative 0.5, times 9.8 equals negative 3.9 meters per second squared. Oops. Now, it's coming out as a negative. What does that negative implies? So we could also write that the acceleration is approximately 3.9 meters per second squared down the slope. Okay, so that negative is just giving us direction, because remember, acceleration is a magnitude and a direction. So we're going down the slope. Okay, so using my I direction, we worked it out straight through, everything in an I. Just put it there, so if you wanted to screenshot it. And then working out my R, I used everything in my J direction, and done.